Yo, peace everybody. Welcome to another installment of Who Don't Know Shit About Boxing. Tonight, PBC, we've seen 3 fights in Brooklyn, Barclays Center, BK. Pretty exciting night for boxing. I'm not gonna front. I say that facetiously. No, actually, it wasn't a bad event. We've seen the first fight, Danny the Miracle Man Jacobs and Sergio the Latin Snake Mora. Ended it in a very abrupt fashion early in the second round. First round showed a lot of fireworks. Candidate for round of the year, rightfully so. Sergio Mora went down off of Danny Jacobs' left hand. It's a nice check hook, and then Jacobs got careless, over pursued, and forgot one of the bigger rules of boxing, that a hurt fighter is a very dangerous fighter. And Sergio Mora checked him with a hook of his own and put Jacobs down. It was more of a flash knockdown. They both were a little wobbly at the end of the first round, and going into the corner, Sergio Mora got tagged. Jacobs hit him going into the corner. And what a lot of people, I think, tend to forget is that after the bell rings, they just think that fighters' health regenerates, like it's a video game or something. And that definitely plays a huge part of it. Going into the second round, Jacobs took the fight to Mora, put him down, and then Mora's ankle just buckled and folded on the way down. And, it looked like he broke it. He said he broke it, and that was that. I thought it was the MCL at first. I thought it was his knee, but it turned out to be his ankle. I had an MCL injury and an ankle injury. I'd much rather the ankle. The MCL, that just ruins your confidence. And at 34, Moore can't really afford to. He said he wants a rematch. Danny Jacobs said I'm not giving him a rematch. Then they said Pritchard Colon versus Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs hasn't been tested in years. Pritchard Colon has at least fought Andy Lee to a draw. I think Quillen wins that fight, and then we'll see what happens with that in the near future. Next fight, Pritchard Colon from Puerto Rico versus Michael Finney. Colon absolutely tattooed Finney in the second round. It was gruesome. It was just a series of clean flush punches, and cocked Finley's head back. It looked like a Knockout Kings or Fight Night video game style knockout. It was something you see on World Star. It was just that ugly. I don't know much about these two fighters, to be honest with you, so I can't really go into details about it. However, they did mention that that Pritchard's camp was grooming him for excellence, so I could see why they put him in Finley. I think this is Finley's 5th consecutive loss. His most notable one outside of this came to Jermell Charlo in a unanimous decision. I think this fight was only scheduled for 6 or 8 rounds. So Pritchard Colon is still a new fighter. They're still grooming him. They're still trying to get him into the rings of experience. So they put him in with a guy. I guess he was a little tougher, but it didn't really make much of a difference. The main event, Garcia versus Malinaggi. I had mixed feelings about this fight coming in because I never was a huge fan of Paulie Malinaggi just because of the amount of shit he talked and was, in my opinion, unable to back it up with his fist because he's so feather-fisted. But going back and reviewing his fights, he is a very, very skilled fighter. And I've always said he was a skilled fighter. I never took anything away from him. I just wasn't a particular fan of him. However, he always looked good. And against Sean Porter, Sean Porter knocked him out. And I think that's when we seen, this was 16 months ago, I think that's when we seen Malinaggi just, the advantage that he did have over everybody, his tactical prowess, his ring IQ, and his speed, he aged, and that's what happened. He's an older fighter now. Garcia finally coming up to 147. Clearly a bigger man, and he's been bigger than all of his opponents. I do want to say this beforehand. I thought Garcia lost against Lamont Peterson, and I definitely thought he lost against Herrera. In my opinion, he lost those 2 fights. Beat Broner. Malinaggi, I thought beat Broner. In all honesty, I think Malinaggi beat Broner and he looked good. But coming into this fight, he's so much older. 16-month layoff after Sean Porter. Malinaggi was just outclassed, and it wasn't so much because of it was skill level. It's just because you seen visibly he lost a step in his punches. he couldn't evade like he used to be able to. He just wasn't there. His faculties were about him. He just couldn't turn it on. He just couldn't react. And there was some glimpses here and there, but Malinaggi is not a power puncher. Garcia's camp. Garcia knew this. He was basically walking through everything, and that's just what it was. And it eventually got stopped from a cut under the eye, and he just took a shit ton of punishment. He was throwing more, but Garcia was just landing shots, and he was taking his time. He just basically systematically destroyed him in the ring, and that was that. And we knew that was going to happen. He's an older guy. I thought stylistically there would have been a little bit more of a challenge for Garcia, but that's just what it was. Paulie Malinaggi just old, and he all but retired in the ring. He said he's probably not going to fight again. It's a safe bet that he's not going to. He has a nice cushy job as an announcer, and he's a damn good one. He's a damn good analyst. I really enjoy his commentary. He's like a young Jim Lampley, and then since he has in-ring experience, he provides that fighter. He provides the fighter point of view that you really wouldn't get, and he's very articulate. He's not punch drunk, so he's good to have on the side. But that was a nice PBC event. We have, I said before, we have Triple G and David Lemieux. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to keep talking about that one as it comes up. And then September 12th, we got Floyd Mayweather and Andre Berto on CBS. September 6th, Pritchard Colon has an unnamed opponent. I think Danny Jacobs might as well just jump in the ring with him since he only went 2 rounds. He didn't really take any punishment. He's still in good enough shape. September is only a month away. I know it's not going to happen, but it's pretty liable. It's pretty favorable for Jacobs to jump in there. That'd be a prime opportunity. I want to see what happens now in the welterweight division with Danny Garcia. You got Keith Thurman. You got a whole bunch of people. We're really going to see what Danny Garcia is made out of now. Now that he's at 147, while the real big hitters are in boxing. So we'll see how he matches up with everybody. I tend to think he's going to fare pretty well, but when he's not cherry picking his opponents, that's what's going to be. The next fight I'm very excited about is Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares. Santa Cruz, I mentioned in my Mayweather video, should be ashamed of himself the way he fought on the Mayweather undercard. He picked a guy who was like 177th in the world and then struggled with him on a pay-per-view event. Couldn't put him away. So Santa Cruz definitely has some show and prove. I love Abner Mares, even though he's a little sometime. I'm a big fan of him. I like his personality. I'm excited about the Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares fight. That's gonna be the next one coming up. So stay tuned for more Who Don't Know Shit About Boxing. Definitely in me. Hopefully you guys are picking up on some things, educating yourself. Fat shouts to the 9 elements. You know what I'm saying? I'm out, man. I'll catch you guys next video. Peace.